No, you didn't. You ruined Snake.
You ruined Snake.
You ruined Archie.
He sucks now.
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Hello and welcome to your mom's Pahdcast, the only podcast that's worth walking out on a date with one of Degrassi's coolest girls. I'm Avis.
I'm Tawny.
And I'm Caroline.
Damn it, you just rolled with it, which I know Caroline appreciates right now.
Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it as is. People get it or they won't.
Hopefully they get it, because it's not like it's a multi-layered bit, but okay.
No.
It has a lot of layers like an onion.
Yes, there's lore here. And today we are joined by Season 4 trivia winner and TiddySnake producer, Tawny, for our Season 5 wrap-up. Welcome, Tawny!
Thank you.
Hi.
That's the layers we're talking about.
So many layers. Hello. I'm happy to be here.
How has
We're
it
really
been
happy to have you here.
talking to us for like an hour of your life on a Monday when you've got...
It's been an hour and a half-ish. Hour 15.
Is it
yeah.
even Monday? I thought it was Tuesday. I don't
It's
know what day of the
Monday.
week it is.
It's
Well,
only
happy
Monday.
It is Monday.
Whew.
We are kicking off another week of this life.
But
On a weird, bad note.
On a really weird times, guys. Weird fucking times.
Bummer times.
At
At
least
least
not
there's
a
a
party.
At least it's a party.
I mean, virtually, I guess. There's no actual party.
Okay, well,
This is the party. This is the
let's have
party.
a little like
Random dancing. Sing.
All right.
Okay, that was great.
Beautiful.
I feel golden.
Rejuvenated.
Brand
but-
new.
We haven't seen you in so long, Tawny. How have you been? Is anything new? Anything changed? Anything you want to talk about?
We are buying a new house.
Yay.
Exciting.
My joke has been that Caitlin Ryan did not have to purchase a house for us. We sold it to
Right.
someone else.
Really
But-
wishing now that you'd hooked a girl up with that referral fee.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's
I'm
how
sorry.
like tuned out you are, because when I was buying my house, you were like, give a bitch a referral. When my
She
mom
asked
sold
about
her
it.
house, you were like,
I
give
did
a bitch
ask
a
about it, but
referral.
then let me guess what happened is you were like looking at Zillow or something similar and you hit the like get more info button and then a realtor
No. No, a realtor came to the house one day with a card and was like, hey, Brandon, or, we heard that, other houses in your neighborhood have been selling. Are you interested in selling? And I was like, yes, we are.
That's
And,
crazy.
Then it turned into a whole thing where his parents had a realtor that they liked and that they used that we had to use her, of course. And then I did not like her, so we had a third realtor, and that's who found us our house.
Okay,
Beautiful.
well now I am a little mad.
I don't know what happened.
So
Nah,
would it been
it's
better for
fine.
you because
It's
of the
fine.
convenience of it all if she had just clicked a button on Zillow?
I
Like
wish I had
it would
clicked
be
the
more
button.
forgivable. It would be understandable because that's what they do is you're like, I want to see this house. And then boom, you've got a realtor.
Well,
I mean-
this story of how we decided to actually start looking was kind of cute because I found a house that I liked and he found a house that he liked and we sent them to each other and it was the same house.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's really,
But-
really adorable.
But then we never
Oh,
got to see
damn.
that house because it was already sold.
I fucking hate that.
I'm like, come on, people. But
then you guys, your tastes align. You can't, put a price
Yeah.
on that. Because the way that S and I were squabbling over
Oh.
like brick versus siding, and I'm like, I am not getting one of those siding covered monstrosities where they're just covering the entire outside with fucking plastic. I don't
Yeah, I don't like
want
that either.
that, because if the fucking wind blows the wrong way, boom, we lost a panel. You
It
don't
was
lose
more
brick like that, bitch. You don't
No,
lose
you
brick.
don't.
And
Bricks
if you
don't
do,
just fall out.
it's more concerning if you start losing bricks off the side of your house.
Thank you. We
You
needed
have
a
a
whole
problem.
mason to be involved in the buying of this house for 2 bricks. We needed a whole mason for 2 bricks.
Oh no.
And I'm
At
like, that's
least
the
you
kind of
didn't
work
need a
I need for a house.
Freemason.
I did.
I hope you also
No.
didn't call the 3 little pigs. They couldn't even build houses that withstood anything.
No, I see that I have a, maybe that's why I have a fear of like houses collapsing, because I've been in a earthquake in this house, and I just stood in my doorway of my bathroom.
Isn't that what you're
and
supposed to do?
But actually, they say after a certain year, you are not supposed to do that because they did not build the houses structurally for the door frames to be able to withstand that, like, to make that true. But my house was built at the turn of the century, so
It's still
she's a brick, dun, dun, house. So I was like mildly concerned because it shook my entire house, and my house is tall, and I'm like, I felt that. But other than that, I was good.
The house was fine.
Yeah, the house was okay.
I don't think houses here were meant for anything other than tornadoes, but they can't even withstand that. So
That's crazy.
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know, but I don't think you will have to, I mean, unless climate change is really bad.
Yeah, we'll just have tornadoes here and derechos and snow.
You don't get like flooding at all. It's too flat, right?
We get
For
flooding.
to be a problem.
Where I used to live, we had a really bad flood that had like 4 feet of water in the basement, and like the whole street was gone. They had to tear down all the houses in certain parts of town, but
Yeah.
I don't think that happens here. I think it's more north. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like when there's more like incline areas and then like the valleys and everything, then there's areas for the water to gather.
There's a flood.
But when it's all flat and shit, it shouldn't do that.
You would hope.
You would hope.
And this has been geography and weather talk.
And weather and real estate. Yeah. But welcome, Tawny.
Do you remember when we were at Smoky Mountain and that woman, like I had mentioned being a realtor, and that woman then spent forever telling us about her horrible house and how it was like all sinking in?
Oh no.
As if you, a realtor,
if you could like save her from this house.
Do something
no,
about
she
that.
just wanted to complain to somebody who would know like what she was talking about.
Oh.
I just found I think that is briefly, and then we can go on into the show, but I think we maybe talked about this when we came back from Smoky Mountain, about how exhausting it must be for celebrities to get all of that energy and conversation and emotion thrown at them while at a convention, or really any sort of event. But like the amount of like in-depth but casual conversation I had to have during that weekend was unprecedented. Like, I was so fucking exhausted by talking about nothing and everything, and like my favorite characters and like my podcast, and like being so high emotion because I was meeting all these cool people, and I'm like, this is like low-key a nightmare. Please only give me this like maybe once a year. Thank
and then you have celebrities out there doing it like every other weekend, and they're just getting like thousands of people's like stories and 5-minute little conversations thrown at them all day.
Emotionally, I don't know how you cope. How do you cope with that? And then they have like the
blank face, and they do the pictures, and they're like, and you're like, I couldn't.
Maybe they're checked out. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're like, I've got to dissociate because I cannot handle, because I can't not absorb some of that like energy.
Yeah.
So I needed 3 to 6 business months to
recover from the con.
Business
like
months.
I was not okay. Neither of us were fucking okay. But
all right, so season 5, a lot happens, eh?
It does. I skimmed through this bitch, and I feel like I know all of that. There's so many things that happen, but also not a lot of things happen compared to last season, I guess.
Yeah, like
I also feel like there's a lot of flashbacks because there's a lot of callbacks to season 4 in this because, oh, it's a year later and, oh,
Mhm.
Jay and Silent Bob are back and, oh, this happened. And,
Yeah.
Right.
there's a lot of like callbacks to previous things, or you see people and you're like, oh, I haven't seen them in a while. Oh, they're back.
Yeah. It felt like Matt kicks off the season.
Ugh.
I know. Because I was actually, that's how distanced I am from the beginning of the season versus what we just finished recording. Because I'm like, oh, right, we're, Paige, I see that she's, gearing up for university or whatever. But then I'm like, but wait, I heard this agitating, grating voice. I'm like, wait a minute. He's coming
Oleander's
back,
back.
isn't he? He's back. His greasy ass is back.
His greasy ass comes back, but then gets yeeted into Vancouver.
He's gone though now.
I will always say though that like the most relevant thing that he ever said in his life occurs at the in the scene where he's like, Paige, you have all of the answers, but you don't even know the questions. I can't be expected to fit into this. Like,
one of my favorite quotes ever comes from that, when Paige is talking to him and you're dumping me and you're giving me drugs? Like, Paige.
This is not in the 5-year plan. Just so you know.
It wasn't in her
fucking
plan.
5-year plan up.
Banting is in the plan, not breakups and drugs.
Right. Yeah, no, his aesthetic has like always been borderline like transient, like greaser.
Well, that apartment that he used to have like really looked like somebody should not be living in it.
Right. It's one step above a hovel. Like, it's dank, it's dark.
It looks like it's gonna start a fire at any minute.
Like, does he actually have like running water, or is it all just coming through his ceiling? Like,
he has a bucket that collects
his shower.
That's his shower.
He just stands there and just accepts the water.
Just toilet water. Like, what? Toilet water from the ceiling. No big deal. He just flushed his toilet through my ceiling. What? That's not cute.
When you go to teacher college, I guess that's how it is.
That's a health hazard.
Teacher college is like actually the school of hard knocks.
It's like you must cosplay as a poor person in order to get your degree. Just so you know what it's like. It reminds me, like, honestly, I was obsessed with this Lifetime movie, Homeless to Harvard. And it's a true story. It's a Lifetime movie. It's a true story. Thora Birch is in it, and I mean, she's beautiful. That's probably why I watched the fucking movie. She's a
great actress.
She's great in that movie. She's got the range, but the aesthetic, literally that character is homeless. It's in the title, homeless to Harvard. And she looks better than fucking Oleander, who's supposedly been living in with access to shower. Yes, and maybe even like cut things to cut his beard. His beard has not been touched.
No, he shows up and he literally. He looks like he's been living outside with Grizzly Adams and just catching fish to eat or something. Like, he looks like he has not seen a shower in forever. Although when he lived in an apartment, he also looked like he had never seen a shower, so.
Yes, I think there's a pattern here. I don't think he washes himself too much, let alone his hair, so.
The Paige was so excited. She was so excited for that date. It was going to be the date.
Yeah, life-changing date. Simpson let her out of detention early.
I mean, did Simpson let her out, or did she just kind of she just kind of yeeted out of there? She just ran.
That's fair. Peter should have tried that approach.
And Peter was like, "Can I go too?" And he's like, "No, this is like week 1 of like 6 weeks. You're stuck here.
5 weeks. You got 5 weeks detention for sex crime.
Whatever the Canadian equivalent of fucking juvie is, he should be in it.
It's 5 weeks with Simpson in detention. Is what the equivalent is, apparently.
And honestly, not even supervised. Like, Simpson's wandering the fuck around. Like, he's not in there.
Making out with his mommy.
But
He's
where's
not-
Perino? Isn't
Oh,
he?
shit.
I think Perino would be hard on people in a detention.
I
Simpson's too
think
lax.
yes, they eventually do give because there, there's detention throughout the whole show. I think they do eventually get a detention teacher, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be Perino. That would be
I just feel like he
waste
would
of
be
Perino.
tough on him. He'd be like, "You sit your ass down, Peter Stone. You sex crimed someone. Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit your ass
He'd
down."
be like, I don't think your mommy gave you enough detention, so give me a reason to add another week. You seen The Breakfast Club? I can go all fucking day. That's another one. That's another one.
Give me 1,000 words on what it means to be a pervert. Like, by the end of detention period today, 1,000 words. Go.
And then
Dear
Quan
Mr.
grades it.
Perino, you asked me who I think I am.
Oh, The Breakfast Club.
Ace.
Oh, such a. I just feel so bad for Paige that the only thing that was keeping the attraction to this man together for her was that sweater vest. That's it. Because he didn't wash his hair.
A good sweater vest, though.
A good sweater vest
hot
and some
thing.
light shaving.
Well, yeah, that could have helped.
Because he had, stubble or whatever. Clean
She
shaven.
came up to him and
a
she
sweater
goes,
vest.
"Oh, you're scratchy."
Right. Like,
I just don't like, I will never, I mean, I guess I get it because even someone who seems to have high self-worth, like Paige has been through a lot. Paige has been through a fucking lot.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's-
come
yeah.
on, girl, that's disgrossing and illegal.
Disgrossing and illegal indeed. And you know what? I think just like Manny, how we have the hope that she got better friends who'd love and cherish her in the future. And I know that in our hearts, that's what happens for her. We have to hope that in the future, potentially, there's some growth there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
No, I mean, I want growth for everybody.
I mean, but like she's like, I've evolved in my decision making. I know that I would never pick this person again. Not only because this was an illegal relationship, but also because they were not right for me.
she was trying to heal something broken deep inside her, and I get that.
I think we've all
She
been
has
there
always
at some point.
Yeah, she's wanted, and I think part of her just was like attracted to the unattainable nature of. I think he was rooted in her trauma. Like he is rooted in her fucking trauma of trying to like push boundaries and like regain some sense of control. He is not a legitimate love interest. And
No.
once he actually starts being a person, she can't handle the shit because he's not.
Well, he's like a dream guy, and then now he's no longer that, and she can't. She
Mhm.
doesn't want
The
that. She doesn't want him
illusion
to be
she-
real.
Right. She doesn't want him to be real because the real version of him sucks.
Is a
As do all
20-some-year-old
versions of
man.
him. Right.
Is some 20-year-old man who is in college going after his student
And
Mhm.
doesn't
Which is-
believe in washing his hair very often.
or shaving or
Basic
cleanliness.
hygiene.
But smuggles drugs internationally.
But smuggles a small amount of drugs.
You're breaking up with me and you're giving me drugs.
drugs.
Yes, Paige.
And I cannot speak to the quality of that weed. However, if he
It was like
already
this much.
if that was pre-ground, if he bought shake,
No, wasn't
Did
it?
he
It was
buy
an already rolled joint.
there was a joint and then there was shake.
Well,
there
yeah,
was a
but
little
wasn't the
tip of-
shake? Yeah, right, because the shake was
Because-
what had fallen out of the joint.
So did he break up the nugs? Did he grind up the contents of the joint and then dump it in the bag for later rolling? What did he do?
Probably.
Where did
I don't know. I don't know. But like,
That's
and-
not
and it
enough for another
wasn't-
joint.
it was like 2005 weed. So you tell me.
To be fair, that elder weed, though it had seeds in it, that shit got you lit, okay? That shit put you
don't-
on the moon.
I don't want to be in Matt Oleander's head and know what he was planning on doing with that later, so I don't want to think about that.
That was like pulled out of the weirdest pocket, like
Yeah.
It was like the
Like-
chewed up stick of bubble gum at the bottom of your purse, and he just like
Mhm.
pulls this out. He's like, "Here, Paige.
Mm-hmm.
I brought you this.
I thought about you.
I was
Here you
in a
go."
literal airport and I didn't
I still want to
buy
know,
you
did
anything
you stop at your plug's house or did
before.
you
Got a taxi and he's like, "Take me to my dealer." Wait
So Paige-
outside. Take me to my woman.
Paige gets dumped by a loser and then
Yeah.
she does some time as a lesbian and then
She
gets
does.
dumped by a second lover about banting.
In between that time, she also has to experiment with being a stoner, and
Mhm.
Degrassi categorizes that as smoking half a joint one time.
That whole scene of her and Alex when they've smoked the joint is
Mhm.
my favorite. It's one of the best scenes of anyone smoking pot I've ever seen ever, because they are both so out of it, and I'm like,
Mhm.
really?
Her eyes went cross-eyed at one point.
She
Lauren's-
looked so hot.
Lauren did a really good job.
Lauren
'Cause
did an
it's-
amazing job.
It's hard to be drunk, so we can put her performance up there with like Terry being drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I would argue that like all of the high media, it's always like too much giggling and too much like.
Well,
But-
and I feel like a lot of people like don't think that Terry's that good of an actress, and I'm not saying that I necessarily disagree. And she deserves whatever a Canadian Oscar is for the drunk scene in Eye of the Beholder.
Well, she
A
was like
Canadian
13
Emmy.
pretending to be drunk. She did amazing.
Yeah.
Right, no kid,
'Cause she
and honest,
captured
right, adults who have been drunk struggle with that. So it's like for her to even conceptualize and be able to carry it out in a believable way for people or to people who have been intoxicated by this thing themselves is
Yeah.
impressive. And yeah, as someone who has been high, like we've got multiple drugs because this is what they're gonna put it in that category. We have multiple weed storylines coming up. This is one of the more believable in terms of how they act because Alex is on the whole like different wavelength than Paige in the way they're behaving. I think Paige is way more relatable. She's like in her head and like trying to. I mean, the joking, I don't think is any aspect of being high, to be fair. I don't think you feel more playful necessarily when you're high, but that's just me. I don't usually go frolicking through fields unless I want to feel the fields under my feet sort of vibe. But yeah, I mean, it's our first weed scene. So
Yeah.
it happens. We get our first stoner.
And it's well done by by any standards, and I'm proud of Degrassi. It's probably one of their better drug representations. The first few seasons, honestly, their drug representations aren't that bad.
We get I guess the other drug representation in this season is JT popping those. What are
Oxy.
those oxys? Yeah, popping those oxys. I want more drugs.
Oh, Aaron.
I'm just so not okay with the polar opposite to pick. Like one is very believable, one is just like the after school special note is hitting a little bit too hard in JT's Oxy storyline.
Yeah.
Because I think when we recorded that episode, I completely forgot that he took the pills. Actually, I'm like, I thought he just drank too much or something. Then I'm like, no, he very deliberately takes pills in broad daylight in the middle of a field or the middle of the ravine with nobody else. Like a spotlight's on him. I'm like, oh right. This is very pointed of like he is about to trip the fuck out. And I mean, I won't say maybe it's less believable because I haven't really done like prescription drugs. The one time I took half a perk, I almost fucking died. So I was like, no, better not do that with anymore. I was in college. I was like, I had half a perk and some Vlad in the plastic bottle. And
That was that.
that was that. Yeah, I went inside and I ate. I remember that, but then I sat up in my armchair and I like threw up.
Ooh,
But if I had not been sitting up, I would have probably
you
fucking
probably
aspirated on my own
choked
vomit
on
and died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times. But yeah, so I was like, I do not need to learn a hard lesson twice. I will never fucking touch one
No,
of
don't
those
do that.
pills again. Ever. But also some of those pills induce like nausea in some people. So it could have been nothing to do with the alcohol, but also don't take prescription pills and alcohol. That's another thing, which is what JT does. So he has to have
Yeah.
his fucking stomach pumped. And then his baby is put up for adoption because Liberty can't fucking take it.
I mean, I don't blame her. That's a lot.
She had a lot going on. That was a lot to handle.
I think that was the straw that broke Liberty's back. She's like, you know what?
I've had enough of this.
I don't need this. Like, we're out here literally about to get an apartment and struggle. And you are telling me that you're out here needing your stomach pumped additionally on top of the literal child I'm growing in my womb. Can
On
you
top
please?
of, like, stealing pills from your job and a potential, like, law coming after you because of that, and they know you're... Yeah. There was just a lot going on.
Like, one of these things would have been really bad on its own. You
But it was
don't need to
piled
keep
on.
adding things to this.
Like, what else can we make Liberty do this season? But not actually focus on what Liberty is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have it experienced through her brother's eyes. Let's have it through JT's eyes, but let's not actually talk about Liberty and look at what is happening to Liberty.
No, I still have no idea how Liberty feels about anything.
I don't know how
It
Liberty
doesn't
feels
matter.
about anything except her dad knowing the mayor.
It literally doesn't matter. That's the
And her
last time we
cowboy
got her
boots.
thoughts.
It's really like... And like, it's such a great storyline that we never get, right? Because she's only 15.
Mhm.
She's 15 years old and she is president of the entire fucking school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story that I want to know more about because she has everything going for her.
Right.
Right.
And then this happens, and there were people that I went to school that there was the same kind of thing, that they had the top grades, they were valedictorian, all of this, and they got pregnant, and then something happened. But like, I want to know like how Liberty's feeling. I wanted to know what she was going through, what she's thinking,
Mhm.
Right.
how this is changing her views on everything, and we
Yeah.
don't really get that. We know
We
how
don't get to be with her at all, yeah.
we know how her brother feels about it. That he hates JT, and we know how JT feels about it. We know how the parents feel. We know how the grandma feels. We know how other people feel in relation to this whole thing that's going around with a 15, 16-year-old girl who is top of her school, and then now this happens, and she feels like people don't want her around because she's pregnant, and they don't want her being the speaker at things, and she's kind of feeling a lot of that, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't get to know how she actually feels about any of it, not till later on, and then we barely even get to know anything about it. It's when she goes to college and they talk about, oh yeah, my boyfriend was murdered, and then I had a baby, and then there was drugs, and they're like, what?
And it's not even that is not even like processing with friends or anything.
No,
like
it's
that's
just random
processing
people.
right on a like in a fucking okay, show me your trauma circle.
Yeah,
like
tell me the worst thing that ever happened to you, and maybe we'll let you into our sorority.
like
But we
that
don't
and
get
yeah.
to know her feelings.
It's not fair to her for all she goes through, honestly. Like she is treated like a side character, like the girlfriend, Toby's best friend after a while. Like she is not treated like anybody who is supposed to have any real agency in her own story. Like she is not even allowed to tell her own story. It's always
Right.
filtered through somebody else. Or in a fucking montage, and she gets no lines because we are with her in the
When she gives
room
birth.
after, not the actual delivery room, because we just see the baby all clean in her arms. Like I don't know
There's
if
no
they moved her
sound or-
there. I don't know. Right? I don't know if she gave birth in that bed. We don't know. But it's very much like you guys could have spent more time on this
But
at any point.
I mean, I can't really think of like that many Liberty POVs at all.
Mm-mm.
Like Rumors and Reputation is an Emma POV.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about Liberty, but it's not about Liberty.
Right.
Right.
And
Liberty.
I'm trying to think of like episodes, big Liberty storyline episodes. I feel like the closest one we get is the fucking floor hockey thing.
Yeah, that's the closest we get when they were still doing shit like that.
And
It's
then they
not a
make her
real
into like
problem.
Napoleon, where she's
Which
just
is,
like
I
trying
mean, it's
to.
a problem, but that's junior high, basically. That's still when they're doing
And
Degrassi
then
Junior
like
High, The Next Generation.
what, like, you know, we get her shit with JT, but it's always more from JT's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, like her having a crush on him and him not being into it. Like, we never really, even when the story's about Liberty, rarely are we going through it with Liberty.
I mean, their relationship is on JT's terms. Even last season, when they kiss, that's JT initiating that.
Right.
Like she is all like we're just supposed to lay out. Okay, she has always liked him. Doesn't matter that she's had a boyfriend in between him.
Right.
Doesn't matter that like she's older and
That he spent the last 3 years being a dick to
being
her.
an asshole to her, even though she has laid her heart on the line enough for him to at least be, you know, more like it's very clear that it's not about her. This is not her. She does not get a chance to actually tell her story, because if we like, all of this is on JT's terms. The king size condom, JT's terms. The I mean, a lot of the initiations and the pushing forward of the story, that's done by JT. Like, the only thing that Liberty is doing is reacting to all of this shit.
Right.
She is, and like, she's reacting on the sidelines to Danny and JT beating each other's asses. She is reacting like to JT ODing. Like, you know, she is not. We don't get to spend time with her.
She also hides it for half the pregnancy, pretty much. She hides it for
Right.
She hides it for so long from everybody, including JT.
Including the audience. I mean, she's
And we
already
don't
3
even know.
weeks along before we know. Like,
Right.
and it's subtly there, right? She's dressing frumpy,
She
even
dresses
by
differently.
Liberty's standards, like what have you. But like, yeah,
I mean, it sucks to me, because I think that that's probably a storyline that you shouldn't have be a secret. Like, I mean, I get people think that whole trope of a secret pregnancy is interesting. I don't know, not my thing. What I think maybe could have been a stronger use of that motif is trying to do that with Emma's eating disorder. Like, that is a genuine secret that Emma is keeping.
Well, here's
and
the
I
thing,
know
though.
that we explore that, but like, it would have been nice to like have a little bit more of a non, like, of secret, a character we get a lot from gets to have.
Yeah.
And how much more of like a shock would it be if like we just see Emma throwing up one day, like out of the
You just
blue,
see
and we
like
get no
snippets
build
of
up.
episodes.
Yeah, versus like having Liberty literally deliver a whole fucking human in a montage and get no storyline that gives us anything.
Right. Well, and like, honestly, like, it's not about it being a secret pregnancy. It's about, I think it would have been interesting, like, the fucking reality split that she's having right now. Because she keeps the pregnancy a secret because she literally cannot deal.
Right. She's in denial.
And like, yeah, I don't know.
And
I think it would have been really interesting.
That would have been
and
very
I think
interesting.
Sarah could have done it.
Sarah's a really good actress.
Mm-hmm.
It's just watching her play Liberty and going through all of this is really amazing, because you believe it, but then you also you want more. We want more from it, and we're mad that we didn't get more because we know Sarah could have done it.
What she
I
got,
guess the
she did
Degrassi
so
writers
well
couldn't
with.
write it.
They didn't know
like,
what to do with
shots
it.
fired.
Shots fired. That, yeah, because like, shit or get off the pot. Like, that one line of like, every day I wake up not wanting to be pregnant, and every day, guess what, I still am. Like, if she had gotten even a little bit more, like a monologue, a couple more sentences, I don't know that I'd be bitching this much. But we just get like bits and pieces from her. Through like, this is an arc that basically stretches throughout the entire season. Like, she delivers the baby in, I think it's Tell It to My Heart.
It's towards the end.
It's either Tell It to My Heart. It's the one where Craig is about to go off to the thingy.
That's Together Forever.
Together Forever.
The way
Yeah.
I know these fucking episodes by name at this point. Okay.
Yeah, no,
it's
the skimming I did.
Well, and like this pregnancy, I feel like is such a crucial, like without this storyline, I don't know if JT dates Mia.
He doesn't date Mia.
He doesn't date Mia. He probably doesn't get
probably's alive.
stabbed, right? Like,
Mhm.
Now that because of all of this, I know Mia exists. And I know what's coming, and I don't like it. And I don't want any of this. If they had the baby, or even if they had the baby and still gave the baby for adoption, but they stayed together, or some, like were amicable, or like friend, like something.
Right.
That whole rock this town would not be a thing, and half the fandom would not be heartbroken about JT, and probably wouldn't think he's such an amazing character, because I think people have such a soft spot for him because of Rock This Town.
right, because he
It's-
dies.
He
It's not
doesn't
because
really
he's like
earn
this
it.
amazing character. Like, he's funny, he's a smartass, like he has his redeeming moments, but overall he's
He
kind of a
is just
butt.
like, I think
Yeah.
they have to choose a character that is going to have an impact in multiple friend groups. Like, if
Right.
they chose someone like, Toby, like, let's say they chose Toby, I think they would possibly have Ash's old friends be upset about it, but it wouldn't be like,
It wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be the
as
same.
organic. Yeah.
no, wouldn't be as organic. He is not that much, like, he had an intense friendship with Paige. He was the school mascot. He was very involved in like just everyday Degrassi life, like class clown, like he was very much a presence in the school, not just in his friend group. And
Right.
we are seeing multiple examples of him being so extroverted in a way that none of the other kids in his grade are. Like, Emma briefly hangs out with Paige and her friends, but like that is for a very inappropriate,
It's for a purpose.
right? Like, and she arguably causes way more harm than like any sort of goodwill. And I think that relationship is tainted because of all the shit she did to Rick. And I think that alienates her more than anything. Like, out of everybody, JT makes the most sense to kill. Like, I'm sure they looked at the board and they were like, okay, we just shot Jimmy. Cannot do that again. Manny just had that whole sex scandal thing. People are not going to be as sad as she dies. Emma, people are not going to be sad as she dies. Toby is like not relevant enough to die.
Well, no.
Right.
Hazel's not relevant enough to die. Ash just got back.
If it was
From
season 1
England.
We'd all be sad if he died. If
Oh,
it was
if
season
it was
1
season
Toby.
1 Toby, we'd be gutted. That would be like
Season
a My
1
Girl
Toby
moment.
is my
JT.
Shayla.
My
Season 1
Shayla,
Toby is my
that would
he's
be
my
like
favorite.
a My Girl moment. Like, where is his glasses?
He can't see
Can't
without his
see
glasses.
without his glasses.
I just think
Put
about
his
season
glasses
1 Toby, and it's like the ultimate, it's like my favorite character, but he only existed for a very brief glimmer of time. Like, then he was gone. Then he was like Toby, the kind of weird stalker, creepy guy for a while, and just Toby, the guy who hangs out in the shadows and isn't really here.
It's
Toby
sad
who pops
because
up and
it's
is a friend of
true.
Liberty, but Toby's not a
Right.
real person anymore.
They really do forget that they want him to play any sort of role. That what he does this season is he gets bullied by JT to like liquidate his bonds.
Yes,
He gets fucking
from his bubby.
right. And then his bubby probably beats his ass later because her shit breaks down for the third time, and
He's
like
got
she has amniotic fluid in the bitch now.
not in my bubby's car.
like Toby's had a shit season.
Toby's had the shittiest season. It's
But
really
it
sad.
Just gets brought every time I come here. I am abused. That's
I
what
like
he's doing.
Toby this season, though, even though all he's doing is just being there for other people and he's getting beat down by them.
Mm-hmm.
This
He's in the
Toby,
background just trying to live his life.
he's almost up there with season 1 just because he seems to just be there for everybody, but he's not. He's just having a hard time.
They're pulling him for no reason into the drama. And he's
They're like,
like,
hey,
you know,
remember when you were almost a main character for a whole season and then we were going to use you and then we didn't? Let's use you now.
and now we just bring you here to be a
Drama.
glorified extra and for the drama of it all. Yeah. Because that's why he's so fucking happy. Because he's a glorified extra.
He gets paid to be a main character but not actually have to do much.
Right?
No, like, he's not getting any, like, you know, he's not stealing pills from his place of employment.
No.
He's not
The rent
having an
is
ED.
not due.
The rent is not due.
The rent's
He
due
is
for
in
JT
a
and Liberty.
rent-controlled apartment, and the rent has been paid in advance. So he is fine, and he is happy and thriving until he gets pulled into, like, 2.5 plot lines. In a season. In an entire season. They did you really dirty, Toby. They did you really dirty, Big Talk. It's really sad. But yeah, I guess if JT like and his death has no haters, we have sadly left this earth. I think cuz I just hate on that being like why people love him is because he died.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of easy to die. I'm just saying. Like it's kind of like the
It is really easy.
Like, I would argue the harder thing is to live. So, did he just took the easy way out, I think. No, please don't send me hate.
Stabbed.
Please don't send me hate. So
they say
sorry.
it in Hamilton that
If Avis has
all
no
they had to do was
haters,
die.
if Avis has no haters, then JT is dead.
JT's like, how dare you? Yeah, I think I just but unfortunately we don't have to worry about that right now.
That's for season 6.
Because Bill Toby doesn't have an eating disorder this season. Emma does, and a broken home.
And Peter is in existence.
And Peter's there
terrorizing the town.
right, to make it all just a little bit worse with his potato salad.
And his fried chicken for a vegetarian.
Right, he did no research. And somehow he's still better than Derek, ? He just looks objectively better than Derek, I guess.
My
to
favorite
Emma.
about all of that is when Manny and Craig are like, we met this guy and he's really cute. And I'm like, it's fucking Derek.
And then it's Derek.
You don't describe him that way.
Yeah, they were very rude for that. Mm-hmm.
No, you should have described, we met a guy, you're single, so we thought he'd work for you. Don't call him cute. Don't call him any of that. No.
This is a warm body.
Derek.
We literally know nothing about him. He's half your height. He's a grade below us. Somehow only a grade below us.
We don't really know anything about him whatsoever at all, but you should date him.
He was ableist to Jimmy for a minute, but they're cool now.
Yeah, he caught him a 3-point shot, so he's fine now.
So they're good. All square. And Emma's like, why do I want to talk to this person, let alone date this person?
Did you guys really set me up with this guy? All right.
That she should be highly offended.
I wouldn't even talk to them anymore after that. I'd be like, bye, Manny. He'd move out.
Meanwhile, Manny's over there being astounded that Craig successfully made a transaction in her honor. Like, he went through with a purchase for me. That is a very low bar, Manny. He's taking me to see a band. I don't know the way she says that.
The way he's immediately like, it's not a big deal.
Right, like but
she's like,
just a band. I am in a band.
It's
you
like
see my band play
the biggest thing in the world to her, though. She's so excited. She's so happy.
Maybe that's why she's so fucking happy, because she's like, Craig's gonna finally stop locking me up in his fucking shed to listen to his shitty ass band. He's taking me to a real band.
Like an actual band.
Like an actual band.
Remedy. It's not the Zit Remedy
Ellie
either.
is not involved.
Nope.
Ellie
I
is
don't-
not on drums.
I won't get hit with a drumstick at this show.
The way that I have such a problem with the plot hole of Ellie being able to nonchalantly, almost like she's bored, do the drum, the drum set for the weddings, parties, anything. Not weddings, parties, anything. It's the other.
Isn't-
No, it's the second. It's the second episode of the season after Venus. Is it wedding parties, anything?
Isn't that Death of a Disco Dancer? That's the one after Venus, isn't it?
Oh, then
Yeah.
no, that's the no, I am talking about the weddings, parties, anything with
Yeah.
Joey and his No, just how
Joey and
she's
Diane.
very much like zoned out because she's so irritated that Manny is up there playing the tambourine. How is she bad at drums? Just a couple of episodes later, so bad that she has to be cut from the band.
They
And-
forgot that she was good.
They forgot that she was so good that she could like not care about what she was doing enough to and like still not miss a bit. Like she did not fuck up the song until she threw the drumstick. That fucked up the song. Other than that, she was playing the drums fine.
Well,
What are you talking about?
she just had to be better than Spinner because Spinner wasn't good.
I guess being better than Spinner was like
The bar is in hell.
The-
mm-hmm.
The bar doesn't even exist. You
The
just have
limit
to,
does
like,
not
hold
exist.
You just have to hold a drumstick and smack something once in a while, and you're better than Spinner Mason.
To think Shane was a real life drummer.
Spinner wasn't actually that bad of a drummer. It's just that's
He
what
wasn't,
Craig
no.
says. He's like, oh, well, you'll do. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that like canonically there probably aren't any bad drummers in these bands or like players of instruments until the fucking plot calls for it.
Until they're
'Cause
like,
they-
wait a second. We need to make Ellie bad at drums because then we can kick her out of the band and Craig can go off by himself.
Because they need a reason to kick Ellie out of the band, and they completely forgot that they wrote her to be a
amazing
satisfactory drummer. Yeah, if not amazing. I would say that if you wanted to be like jip her, you could say she's satisfactory. But like if you really look at what she's doing and the drum, like the actual arrangement that she's supposed to be playing, it's not easy. Like
No.
she is the backbone of a funky ass song, a funk fusion
That-
song.
Music, though. Oh my god. I listened to that at work today while I was just getting ready for tonight to record this, and that music.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Craig
Somebody
was
played
in
that
his...
at my wedding. Mm-mm.
They do not look like the couple that you play that at their wedding.
What?
You don't.
It looked like they were transported from like Degrassi Junior High times. Like this is the Zit Remedy would have played at this wedding in the 80s. I don't know. That
Mhm.
couple, like that wedding dress. Mm-mm.
Yes, her wedding.
Can you
her-
imagine
very,
if
very,
your
very
sister
chaste.
booked the Zit Remedy to play your wedding, and then you had to walk down the aisle to an instrumental of Everybody Wants Something?
Yo, I think that at this point they should shop that around.
I think that's what I'll walk down the aisle to.
I think
So-
I walked down the aisle to a instrumental version of the Office theme song, and then my husband and
Oh.
I walked out as man and wife to an instrumental Rickroll.
I mean, I'm
Oh
here
my
for that. I love
gosh.
that. But I think now I'm announcing it. I will
Mhm.
get married to the Zit Remedy.
Got it.
And it'll be great.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Tawny.
Right.
I'm going to wear a Joey Jeremiah fedora.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to
And-
go that far,
No, I'm gonna,
but I'm gonna
that's as
be
far
at
as we're
your
going.
wedding, and
Apparently,
if you
Caroline draws the line at a fedora.
if you don't walk
think it
down
was
the
just-
aisle to it, I'm gonna like be like, I object.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to season 5 wrap up of your mom's
Mhm.
podcast and hear that you declared to the world that's what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just pull out my boombox like I'm John Cusack and say anything except it'll be playing.
Everybody wants.
No, it'll be
God.
playing
This
your
episode?
fucking you saying you were
Mhm.
gonna do this.
The
And
clip.
then it'll transition to In Your Eyes though, because God, that's such a good song.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is a really
I'm
good
done.
song. But
Light the heat.
just
I
imagine you're
just-
getting married though and downtown Sasquatch is your band. and you're dressed like it's 1985.
You are
Just imagine
dressed like
that.
it is 1985 in fucking deed. I think that there should have at least been like a meeting with the band to play, like, because
What kind of
typically
music do you want us to play?
wedding bands, they're not playing their OG music. They're playing
Right.
covers of good songs to have at weddings. Otherwise, why do you hire a band?
Well,
Unless you really love that band in particular,
yeah.
I would think you're hiring a band for their ability to play multiple different
Like covers, right?
covers
Unless you like them
versus
and you know their music
but
that
who
they
the
have that's original, but who knows this high school band from Degrassi?
who the fuck is Downtown Sasquatch to be their fucking first dance? So,
What are they singing? Some like I don't want to miss a thing or something? Like what is going on?
yeah, those
Right?
are on the cusp of. I actually think they're probably full-fledged baby boomers if they're getting married at that point. They are gonna want that if yacht rock if nothing. I
Some
don't
Jimmy
believe.
Buffett.
Yeah, I don't believe this. That they would settle. That they would put their flighty ass. That the bride would put her flighty ass sister in charge of this task.
That woman doesn't look like she would be Diane's sister, though. That looks like Diane's
No.
mother.
It does look like Diane's
it's
mother.
a really weird wedding.
The casting was and the wardrobe was different. They were like, let's get the plainest, basic ass, most like strip the what Gina Davis wore in Beetlejuice, just strip that. Just strip
Basically.
that.
They said here's your inspiration. Do you love it? I love it. I got it at Ross.
I got
Ross,
it, Ross.
dress for less.
Oh my gosh. I can't. Yeah, and I mean Diane does kind of play a role. She low-key sticks around. She makes that Florentine omelet and moves the fuck in.
She does.
And
She wants
starts
something.
helping. She wants something, and it might be domesticity because she's out here helping Angie with her fucking homework and shit.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
no,
cute.
I'm into that.
Somebody needs to remember that Angie exists because it ain't the show.
And it ain't really her daddy.
And it ain't really her dad. So,
Joey barely acts like he's a father at all.
he's like,
He's more of a
I'm
father
bald
to
and I'm a
Craig.
father. Right, he is more of a father to Craig. Craig's like, would you ask Angie this?
She's
I don't even
7.
talk
She
to
doesn't
Angie.
need me.
She doesn't need me. She's 7. She can take care of herself, Craig. Like, you need... Like, the way Joey's like, I haven't talked to Angie in weeks. What the fuck are you
Who's
talking
Angie?
about? Who's
Right?
Angie? Who is she?
Do you mean baby Tori over here?
Like, I
Not
don't
baby
know her.
Tori.
Like,
Oh,
she
God.
knows if she wants me, she needs to, like, ring my bell and I'll get to her when I have time.
She needs to come down to the car lot and let me know that she needs me.
She once she does her weekly shifts, because I know he has her work in a tech car.
She washes
got
the
her-
cars.
Child labor laws be damned. That's
She
all
just
she's
stands
there,
there
for.
with like a sign.
Is she one
looking
of those
cute.
Jeremiah Motors.
Because she can't flip the sign, so she just stands there with the sign.
Mm-hmm.
And people just think
Aw.
she's a midget because, like, why?
Why would a child be doing this?
Why would a child be, like, but arguably, like, that is about as useful as Angie could hope to be in this plot. Because, like,
Right.
we have nothing for her to do. She's got homework, supposedly.
Well,
She's
soon,
not giving sass to Caitlin, so she's not.
Soon she'll be gone.
She served her purpose, yeah.
She has
Yeah,
served her
she's-
purpose. It's fine.
She's
don't
not,
need her.
Yeah, she's not the cute sister anymore. Craig doesn't really give a fuck about her either, actually. Now that come to
No.
think about it, Craig is like, couldn't be fucking bothered with her.
Craig's like, who are you?
Craig's too busy learning what cocaine is.
Craig's like, I've got new friends now. Like,
He's like, I've left the main cast. You cease to exist.
oh my gosh. It's so bad, but I mean, Joey and Angie are just not, and I know they are struggling to keep Joey doing things this season, but like he's age shamed. And then he's like couch for Snake to cry on.
He needs his buddy. Snake needed somewhere to go. I'm happy Joey was there for him. But we also didn't need that whole storyline with Snake and Hot Sauce and any of that either. We didn't need that.
No, that was so
No.
They
unnecessary.
ruined this season, if anything, ruined people's character. And some of them were long-standing characters for 30
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
For 20
Yeah.
years. And they took them and they ripped them apart and destroyed them to their core and then tried to build them back up and make us be like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. We've moved past it. No, you didn't. You ruined Snake.
You ruined Snake.
You ruined Archie.
He sucks
and
now.
Right. It's never going to, like, he's never not going to be the guy who cheated on Spike with Hot Sauce.
And
Right.
the whole way that plays out is so stupid. You're at the premiere with your daughter, Emma's in there somewhere. You know that. And there's all the kids that go to the school that you work at, all the parents, the faculty, everybody's there for a movie premiere, and you're just making out with her in the theater. What are you doing?
You ever did something you shouldn't have with someone you shouldn't have been with?
And Emma's like, oh shit.
Emma's like, the way that
Peter.
I
It's
never
so-
needed
it's
to
such a
hear any
weird-
of that shit. Like, I am the child here, Dad.
She also calls him Dad. She's like, Dad, and I'm like, oh.
She's hurt. Like,
That's
I
how
think
you know Emma's mad. She's hurt.
like,
She's upset.
She's upset. Like, she has let her guard down because I don't think that Emma got enough credit for like how much she had to go through with Spike and being literally Spike's partner
Right.
Yeah.
throughout everything. And that shit is exhausting. And getting older and being in a stable environment where, yes, my meals are cooked. Yes, my laundry is done. Yes, my parents are like, my mom has an actual partner and I have a dad and I have somebody else to lean on in addition to my mom. And I have additional support. All of those things that she got used to, literally are out of the window overnight.
Yeah, it's all taken away because of Snake making out with Hot Sauce. And
With his-
it doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, no, it's...
It doesn't, and it's
I wonder if there are, like, deleted scenes.
the way that I thought the scene in when she walks in and she's like she talks to him and she's like, oh, I thought you'd be out there enjoying the sunshine or whatever. The way that I'm like, I know I've seen this scene before, but why does it feel like more illicit now? Because like, why the way she's like, I was hoping you'd take me for a ride.
I think
On your dick? Gross!
Right?
I've seen some of the deleted scenes and like the bloopers from like the first 2 seasons.
Mhm.
I've never
Uh-huh.
seen it from other ones, but there has to be more to it because I don't think you go from, ooh, you have a bike, I used to ride a bike, I like bikes, to making out in a movie theater where your kid and the other person's kid is also in there. I don't think you
Right.
would get to that
We
point
skipped a
that
scene.
way.
Yeah, we
It
skipped
doesn't
a
make
scene.
any sense. It's very
And,
out of
like,
nowhere.
It's very out of nowhere, and I know that like I can relate to being an adult and a lot of my daily social interactions coming from my place of work. Okay, but don't shit where you eat. Like,
No.
why do you, even if you have that attraction, you are not having any sort of logical thought about that, which means you genuinely like this person, or if you don't like them, you like what they represent to you or whatever. Like, and I think it's just Daphne liking the person that he is,
That she thinks Snake is
that
being
she
now.
thinks, right, that because he has a
Right.
bike, which is, to be fair, a pretty fucking superficial thing to latch on to somebody for, especially since it's been established that he didn't pick the bike for any like real reason, like technical knowledge of bikes.
He
It's
didn't
not
pick
like,
it because he worked
no.
on bikes as a teenager with his dad, and he loves
right,
bikes, and this is the bike he's wanted since he was a child, and he saved up enough money. No, he just got a bike.
he just got a bike from a dude. He knows nothing about bikes. He doesn't know. He is literally just going through a crisis.
He is.
Like,
Yeah.
and he's biking about it.
He's
So,
biking.
and then once that's been established, the way that she's still like, I am wet for him and this fucking motorcycle is disgusting.
It's
And it's not all her, obviously. Snake is the one
No,
who
he
is
has a part of it.
married.
He plays a role in it and he makes a decision, but I don't know why that's the decision he has to make and that's who he makes it with. And especially there with all the kids at the school that they both work at that are there and they know that.
Right. All within like anybody could walk in.
Anybody
Could have just seen like it's just not a good idea. And that leads me to believe that not only was he acting out of passion, but he's also acting out of like reckless abandon for his life, for the life that he has, and his daughter being steps away from that situation is so callous. And it behooves me that I'm supposed to forget that this shit happens. I low-key, high-key don't accept it. Because it's like the way that like you have to be so, okay, I don't give a fuck. My whole life can fucking implode.
Well,
That's
we're
the
supposed to
vibes
forget
I'm
about
getting.
it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to forget that it happened, and this is a character, if you watched like the classic, if you watched Junior High and High and then School's Out and everything, if you've watched these, this is a character people have loved forever. People grew up with Archie. People have, people who watched it when they were teenagers when it first was on have now they're the same age as him, so they've grown up with him. And then for us, a lot of us, like he would have been like our parents' age, and so we're looking at him and we're like, this guy is really like he's a great teacher. He's there for Emma, like he's there for Spike, like he's really really good. He's there for the kids. He cares about them, and then they do this, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. And I mean, I think on the episode that we discussed this, Emily said like, oh, and this isn't my baby Snake. This isn't the Snake that I knew. And I think it was like contradicted, like, okay, we got to give people grace. They grow up, but also I think that to lean into that a little bit more, like Snake has always been a character with a very strong moral center.
He seems like he's just that good guy that would always have the code of conduct that he would go by, and this is something that he would not do. And I know people age and they grow up, people change, and you can have that crisis.
Tired. He had cancer. Maybe he's
going through something, and I get that, and you can change who you are, but like this is a very drastic turn from who we've seen him as forever.
Yeah, his
to what
morals.
He becomes, and
it's just a turn from who we morally know him to be, and we have a lot of examples of him being a really moral guy and like having like you said, a strict code of conduct. So it's really weird, and it's like almost like he just said, "Fuck it, I don't care what happens."
Yeah,
and like there's not much of a because like the possibilities of what could happen. What if no one sees you? Okay, what happens after that? What do you do after that? If nobody saw you making out in the theater, would you have gone further?
There's no way I believe though that it didn't. That this was the only time something happened.
This was the only time, right? Like they were in close proximity, riding on the motorcycle together. Like
we don't see it, and I don't want to see it, but I feel like it had to have happened. Like something had to have happened. There had to have been kisses somewhere else, or like embraces, or like some brushed past somebody, and then they're like, "Oh hey." Then they felt like this could keep going, and then they did it in front of everybody that could have seen. But
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I think that's fair. I have such a problem with Hatsalakos because not only does she do this shit, but also she brings Peter into the mix, and that's just unforgivable. And then like her reaction to Emma and Manny following the incident is like unforgivable to me. Like the way she looks at her and shakes her head, like that.
That it wasn't her son did that.
Yeah,
it was her child who did it. You would think that she's the principal. You should be ashamed
do something
of
so heartless. Yeah,
like there's no reason for that. And Manny didn't. He took advantage of Manny. He sex crimed her. He was the bad one in that. And his mom is the principal, but he's still at school and he's still there every day.
In her face.
How you like?
In her fucking face, literally.
He's just right there.
She didn't have him apologize or anything. She didn't have him write her a letter. She didn't have him do anything. So honestly, a public apology would have been appropriate, considering is to the fact that he fucking splashed her boobs all over the fucking school.
She couldn't even give him a long enough detention. Like, it should have, at least, if we're just doing detention, it should be the entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Not
boy should
5
lose
weeks.
his junior year as far as his
Mhm.
social life goes.
And
He
it's
doesn't
just
need to
complete-
be
no.
dating. He doesn't need to be talking to girls.
Mm-hmm. But that's all just forgotten midway through the season. And
Yep.
he's not only forgiven and redeemed for like saving Emma from her fucking ED, but he's also a fucking third in their friendship now. And it's just fucking stupid.
Right. No, I hate
And
it
she
all.
doesn't deserve that shit. No one deserves that. Like, she should not have to see him every day, let alone have to like engage in conversation with him every day. And everybody's
Right.
thinking that shit is normal.
Well, then he records the performance that she does in High Fidelity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he hands it to her, and she's like, "Oh, you taped that? Oh, wow!" And she's so happy. And I'm like, "Manny, you wouldn't be acting like that.
He couldn't take my fucking picture.
I
ever
wouldn't have
again. He
even
could-
let him anywhere
Don't
near
even.
me."
Yeah, you're not ever going to point your camera and like capture
He should not be
media
allowed to
ever the
have
fuck
a
again.
camera.
Right. It should have
No.
been a consequence of his like. He should not have been allowed near any sort of phone, any sort of camera, any sort of video recording equipment. None of that shit should have been allowed to.
No, give him
to
a
have,
fucking
but
original Nokia. They still had those then.
They still
He
had
could have
those.
played
He would have been
caterpillars
fine.
or whatever on it. Snake. He played Snake on it. He didn't
Like-
need to take pictures of anything.
Mm-hmm. There's still third places. You don't need your phone to do homework. You don't need a camcorder to do homework. None of that shit. Literally, natural consequences. You record someone without their consent. You
And then you
don't
splash
need
it
a
across the
recording
school.
device, bitch. Boom.
Right.
Take your dumbass recording device away. She's not a good parent. She's
No.
not a good parent. She is a reactive parent, and she doesn't even react the right way. So, yeah. Peter's here though, obviously.
Peter is here,
and he's just not going anywhere. And they really try to make us care that, like, of course she's there for him, or he's there for her when she needs it, but ultimately, she could have just been the fuck alone. Like, she would have got through it. She would have been fine.
Mhm.
She had Manny.
She had Manny. Yeah.
They would have been okay.
Manny exposed. What did he do but run upstairs and call 911 because he didn't get signal in the basement?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
He barely even did anything, but he was there.
he was there. Yeah, it's annoying.
I have.
Ellie and who?
No, go ahead.
You-
I was just gonna say, since we'd been talking about Emma or Manny and Peter and everything anyway, that like I had empathy for Emma this season in a way that I don't normally, and also like
Mhm.
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I agree with that. I think her arc is again one of the more interesting, but it's because a lot of her issues can interconnect. And I think
Mhm, but
it's
they
nice
don't-
to see the layers of what she's going through, but
But It makes
Yeah.
you sad because they don't do that with other characters. But then
It
they could
makes-
have made issues that
yes.
they have connect to each other,
totally.
like issues from other seasons or that continue and carry on. They just forget about it. Forget about it. With Emma, they
Mhm.
build on it and it connects and,
And it
you get to
connects,
see it.
and yes, and she grows through it, and she gets a lot of nuanced situations to play into. Yeah, meanwhile, fucking Jimmy just gets flashbacks of him getting shot.
Ah!
Yeah, no.
And like of harassment from his dad about like various Paralympic trials. I don't. It's not fair how well developed Emma is.
Do you
When
think
other
it's
characters are just starved.
Do you think it's because Emma's the reason we even have TNG? Because if Spike had never had a baby and they didn't decide to keep showing it, that we would have never had this. Is that the reason why she's so well developed? And it's because she's the only one we're supposed to care about? Is that why they did?
I mean,
don't
I
know.
think that's
I
certainly
think
part of
that's-
it.
I think it's part of it.
Right. She's like the anchor. She is the like why. She's the why now. Not the why. The why now. Because
Yeah, she's
that's a
the-
movie thing of like, why are you telling the story now? She is the why now of Degrassi, the next generation. But it's also, I think that they struggle with that, with Emma being the why now, because they don't let her go for arguably past the time where she should have been let go,
Yeah.
because she's no longer in Degrassi. It's about Degrassi. So
Right.
they're like, they had to kind of recalibrate and be like, well, no, it's not actually about any one person. Maybe people are featured, but it shouldn't be about any one person. And I think after Emma leaves the show, they really do try to correct that. And they try to give each character maybe more fleshed out things to do or whatever.
Yeah.
Not make it so episodic, but it's like, then they do the same shit. They have Claire's, they have
Yeah.
Maya
Maya.
Matlin's. Yeah, it's very hard not to have a main character. And even though Emma's the main character and she gets all of these things to do and all of this nuance, like, it doesn't mean that we don't see the contrast and like wish that it was doled out a little bit more evenly. Like, Hazel gets scraps. The best
Liberty
part
gets
of this
storylines from other
season,
people's.
right? Liberty gets like POV, third person POV, you know, and the fucking Hazel gets a slow motion walk up with the hot outfit on, and that's the highlight of her fucking season. Booked, wrapped.
And then
Like,
now this is it.
mm-hmm.
We don't see Hazel
Now
anymore.
she's not even like in the background. She's just gone.
Yeah.
She's just, yeah.
After graduation, I think she only ever gets mentioned like one more time, and that's it.
Which is crazy because literally several episodes before, Paige is like, I love this girl and you better be fucking nice to her. I'm gonna punch you in the face. And
Yeah.
and Alex is just like, I just said that she should stop shopping so much. Chill. No, it's very uneven, and the empathy does not equate me caring or wish or like make me wish less that other characters did not have the opportunity to shine. Because like Manny's just shamed this whole season. Darcy's a part of the main cast now. We get her Jesus bullshit.
Yeah, that's a whole. Those were the episodes I skimmed through.
Yeah.
And as a person who is a really big Spinner fan, because I like seeing how he started and then kind of how he has his arc, and then he kind of goes through all his changes and he becomes like the Spinner I know and love. The Darcy shit, the Friendship Club, no. I was angry. Like, it makes me angry. And Darcy shows up, and when I heard the episode with your moms on it, and they were talking about, I think it was your mom, Avis, about Darcy and all, the way she talks about Jesus is every other word out of her mouth, with the way that she's dressing and the way that she's acting is not very Jesus. Every word out of her mouth it's so true. That's
Yep.
how and that's how a lot of media portrays people at times, and that's how it kind of is. I feel like in the real world too, where that can be, you might say all of that, but that's not what you're doing.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I don't like the character of Darcy. I like Shanae. She's a great
I like
actress.
Shanae too.
She's amazing, and I think it speaks to her being a really good actress that I freaking hate this character so much.
Right, she does. She hammered that home every chance she got. Yeah, and I think she's not even as bad in this season. She gets really bad, especially when she's, talking about Manny. When she talks about Mia, she gets terrible. But like, they are just opening up like the can of worms that is all of her religious bullshit that we have to unpack, and her saying like, "It's okay, we'll find the Lord together," to Spinner. I don't know. They just
There was a lot of it that rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I just am thinking about, she's talking to Spinner about how Manny needs to become a virgin again, and Manny should do this, and Manny's just been out there so much, and she's just horrified at the fact that Spinner has had sex. That
right.
Spinner is not a virgin, and if they had sex, that she would not be his first. And as she's finding out about it, wasn't just Manny, that there has been others too. She's just horrified, and he wasn't honest at first, but he at least came clean about it and told her, hey, I'm not a virgin. This is what's going on. But like, the expectation that she put on him, that's horrible. And he's just a teenage boy. He's going to try to go along with it because he feels like he likes her and he loves her. You know, he wants to be with her and he's in a relationship with her and he's going to do what he needs to do. But it's not the way. I don't know.
No, it's shame. She's shaming him. And like,
And
that's
his
not.
friends.
That like religion is already once you're in the bitch is already gonna shame you like itself. You don't need to add another layer on of like making him feel bad about his sexual past when he is trying to like start over in a way
Mhm.
that you understand.
And he does. He tries to turn over a new leaf. He goes to the friendship club with her. He's going to the events and he talks to Jay about it. And like, you know, Jay is Jay. Jay
Yeah,
Hogard is just a mess. But
right.
he's really trying for Darcy and she just keeps shaming him and making him feel awful about the past that he can't control. That's the past. He did it. It doesn't matter,
Mhm.
but she's making him feel awful about himself and that's not good. You don't want that in a partner.
Right. And
Yeah.
honestly, he doesn't deserve it. He has been nothing but forthcoming after he accepted that like I think his like apprehension of telling her was like if I tell you this and there's no way for me to take back my past because like like religiously there's I don't think that there's a
Yeah.
thing that you do to become because that's not that's not an issue. Like sex is not seen as something that's dirtying of one's soul, so you don't have to cleanse it. But like he is really working hard and it's just like it's not good enough for her.
Mm-mm. Nothing
It's
is.
not
And
good enough for her.
as she finds out more about his past and about more who Spinner is, more about
Mhm.
Spinner, it's like she doesn't actually like Spinner for Spinner. She just likes the idea of Spinner that she had. And
Yeah.
the way that she can kind of manipulate him into coming to Friendship Club and to learning more about Jesus and trying to be a Christian. And she only wants him to do things that she wants him to do.
Mhm.
She's very controlling, I feel like. And I don't know. Some of it I forgot about from previous like watchings of it, but when I watched it under a different kind of lens, I'm like, ooh, wait, I don't feel very good about this. I've never
Right.
really
Yeah.
liked her character, but I really don't like her character.
Yeah, no, it's I mean the vibes are fucking off. It's like how much does someone have to bend over backwards for you?
Mm-hmm.
Um yes. I can see that my lovely Caroline is fading
No, I'm here.
over
I'm
here.
here.
She's here.
No, I mean we have been talking. It has been a long day. Do we have I mean I didn't really compile lists. I was like
I
going
never do
through
compile like
yeah, for the wrap up. I was just going through honestly each character
right.
and
I
thinking
don't feel
about
like
their
enough
journey throughout
happens
the
with like
season.
Ellie that I need to talk about her.
No, I mean Ellie's more of a compliment of Craig's whole thing. Like that's how she starts the season, that's how she ends the season. She starts with getting involved in Ashley and Craig's shit. That
Yep.
becomes her bullshit. Has a ghost moment, convinces Craig to has a drumstick moment, and then has a drumming incapable moment.
Sends Craig off to find cocaine.
Mhm.
Breaks up Jimmy and Hazel. Like, yeah, no, she's just kind
Yeah,
of like
she's just
there.
she's a plot a home wrecking plotter.
Marco
The
sucks
only
this
notes-
season.
Marco does suck this season. The only notes I had about Ellie at all were just about her fashion. I didn't have any actual notes about Ellie, but I have a lot of notes about Marco's fashion too, but I don't really have any actual notes about.
Right.
Okay, let me just double
He convinces
check.
Tim to come out to his family when he hasn't come out to his own family.
Yep, that's
Mhm.
pretty gross, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really like that, but
and then like drags Tim along to make Dylan jealous. No, Marco's gross this season. Hazel is lovely this season, but we only get little glimpses.
We get
Andrea
way more of Alex
is so
this
sassy
season
with that hat fling.
Yes,
she was so cute in most of her outfits too, except for when at the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marco and her outfit, no. I don't know what that was. No, thank you. But otherwise, she had great. She always looked good in the background. I wanted her to be a main character. I wanted her to have stories. I feel like that's too much to want sometimes with this show.
It is. Yeah, no, I think I mean, we obviously get Paige and Alex. More through Paige do we get Alex, but we get some of Alex dealing with like her mom and Chad. Her
I
mom and
feel like he's
Chad.
a Chad, but I don't know if that's really his name.
Right, like
It is his name.
Okay, I
Um,
was gonna say he seemed like a Chad. I don't know.
and like I think it's just setting the scene for obviously next season and the furthering of those domestic issues. But like, yeah, I mean, the one thing I guess I did write down is that I noticed that Manny saw the ad for Dr. Andres twice, and I'm like, once in the mall, once on the bus. And I didn't notice that before.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's like a poster in the mall, like one of those, like it would have been a movie poster in one of those size
Yeah.
frames.
Wild.
Yeah, so that was a little thing I noticed. I'm like, oh, I've never noticed that before. But yeah, that was my only note. My other one is a fashion note.
So then is it time to move to the corner of all corners?
The ultimate fashion corner.
The ultimate fashion corner, what we usually do is just both say like our number one and our like our top fashion and our worst fashion.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to kick us off, Tawny?
I had 2 for best. They were a tie for me, and they both happen at the premiere. It's
Mm-hmm.
Liberty and Emma.
Oh yeah,
I can dig that, yeah.
can
I
feel it.
couldn't pick one. Liberty looked lovely in that color,
Mhm.
and it was gorgeous. Her hair, everything. And then Emma's dress, that's a prom dress. She should have worn
Mhm.
something like that for a prom. It was gorgeous. I loved the multicolored everything. I don't know. Those were my 2 best ones.
Yeah.
I no, that's great. So I do have, I'm going to bend the rules a little bit because my ultimate favorite piece of attire is Liberty's Lacoste fucking ballet slippers.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite
Mhm.
full outfit is Manny in that yellow t-shirt
Yeah.
with the green and the red like design on it. I think she looks so good in that. And my least favorite was Marco's like layered popped collars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even list my worst one.
Oh yeah, what's your worst?
My worst is Darcy and her green ugly bag that she carries everywhere, but also that pink top that is it a
That-
scrub top?
It
I don't
kind of
know.
looks like a scrub top. Yeah.
But she wore it multiple episodes because I was taking notes and I was like, oh, there's the green bag again. Oh, there's the green bag again. And then I was like, wait, that's the same pink top that I can't tell what it's supposed to be. It had like white piping or something, and it looked like a scrub top or like a maternity top. I don't know what it was,
It was
but
not good.
Yeah.
that was my absolute least favorite thing other than her green purse. And I think I'm picking on Darcy just because I don't like her.
It's
Which is perfectly valid.
so
she could have worn the
valid.
most gorgeous outfit, and I would have been like, no, it's
No,
not.
I don't accept it.
I don't. Put it on Emma. Put it on someone else. It's fine. Darcy, no.
No. So my best outfits, I have 2, but I think they're a pair. I have Paige and Alex at the premiere because I think it's so lesbian coded. It's
So cute.
cute. And I love how they're like bookends, like Bobsy twins. So cute. My worst is Spike in this fucking army top with the bedazzled popsicle sticks or the
Yes.
the bedazzled popsicles or whatever the fuck, mushrooms, whatever they are. They're bedazzled and they don't belong on this fucking shirt.
It's not a good time.
It's not. And it's bizarre. And
Yeah.
I don't like it. So, yeah.
I'm not here for that top either.
No, fuck that top. I don't want to borrow it.
Yeah. Oh god. Sorry, now I'm just like picturing the top.
I watched
So-
that episode earlier at work, and I was, what is that? Yeah, I don't know if it's mushrooms or popsicles, but equally ugly. It's not
Mhm.
good.
So for our Hun count, we have a whopping 9 Huns over 4 episodes, which seems pretty weak to me, but that's what we had.
That is what we had. As far as the black holes, we had in Total Eclipse of the Heart, we have Mr. Ellis and Tim. In Tell It to My Heart, we have Mr. Del Rossi's accent because it fucking disappears on sight. In Eye Against Eye, we have Linus and Melinda. And in High Fidelity, we have Mary and our beloved Hazel. And we also lose the little makeshift family that is Joey Jeremiah, the car salesman, the used car salesman, his daughter Angie, and his sort of girlfriend Diane.
Nah, I mean, she's doing math homework
his
with
live-in
Angie.
girlfriend. His live-in girlfriend. Let me put some respect on her name. His live-in girlfriend Diane. They are joining Hazel in the black hole because they moved to Calgary or wherever the fuck they move, and they're gone. So
Hazel dropped her graduation hat and just
kindly escorted herself out of the series.
I hope that her dreams flew higher than her hat.
Me too.
But, you know, what can you do?
I mean,
that brings us, I mean, pour one out for the homies.
Yes.
And that brings me to us, that brings us to my favorite part of the wrap up. The coveted Teacher of the Year award.
Oh.
It looks a little different this year.
This year's not the same.
I mean,
it's been Archie 4 years running.
Yeah, I think it's no secret that Archie, the snakester Simpson, has taken this award like 4 years in a row. However, we cannot, in good conscience, reward this.
He's not even getting nominated.
He's not even nominated. I have an envelope in my hand. Is it a relevant envelope? No, but I do have an envelope in my hand.
So, do we want to list off the nominees then?
Yes.
Who are the nominees this year?
Nominees
Coach Armstrong. Miss Kwan. And Mr. Ellis. Avis, will you do the honors?
I will.
I can't wait. Who is it going to be?
The winner is Mr. Armstrong.
Yes, love
All
that.
right.
Because he's doing the Lord's work and he is underpaid.
Because that man teaches almost every class at this school.
Yep.
And he breaks up fights. He's security too.
He is out there doing the job every day and loving it.
He earned
and
this.
not making out with the principal, so he gets an award.
Not even once.
Sadly,
that we know of. I hope not.
Sadly, Mr. Armstrong could not be here today to accept this award, but we will accept it on his behalf and make sure he gets it, of course, as we always do.
Yes.
But yes, we have a new Teacher of the Year, and it is Mr. Armstrong, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Well earned.
He earned it this year. He did a great job. He's earned it other years too, but Archie beat him.
Archie just edged him out all these other years, but like, no, this year is his year.
So who's the shiningest? Who is the shiniest star this season, and who is the superest bummer?
Oh my god,
the shiniest star. I know my shiniest star.
Who's your shiniest star? Because
Manuela Santos.
Yeah.
Manny.
She could have beat a bitch's ass so many times, and by a bitch I mean Emma or Peter.
I would give it to Yeah. I think
yes,
there's a case for Alex.
Yeah. Alex did, I have to think about who didn't really get into any shit this season. Who just got shit shoveled on them this season and still emerged gracefully from that shit shovel.
I mean,
I think Alex really spent the season wading through Paige's expectations and bullshit interchangeably. That she deserves nothing short of an award.
I would agree with that. And I would say if it has to be one ultimate shining star, it's Alex over Manny. I love Manny. I think she's great this season, but I think it's Alex.
Mm, I don't know. I have to give Manny props because a lot of people wouldn't still stand by. And
A
I
lot
know
of people
you.
would have left that damn school. Manny stuck it out, and she had to stand there while everybody knew what Peter had done to her, and she had to face Peter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can
And
see
then
the case for
she,
Alex too, though.
but then she also turns around and still is there to emotionally support her best friend who dated the guy who committed a sex crime against her.
And like that's admirable. And at some point, like, I don't know, stop giving Emma a pass.
Totally stop giving Emma a pass. I
Have
just
some
think
fucking self-respect, Manny.
I think she just is a great friend, and if I think about things that I wouldn't do, because at this stage in my life, the way that my fists are set up when when I feel I've been wronged, they just got a mind of their own. And I feel like once you like uppercut somebody, you cannot be friends. Maybe dudes do that. I don't. I feel like once I throw
I-
blows, like we probably shouldn't be friends. But I think that it's just like a testament to her maturity that she does not like completely tap out of everything to do with Emma, completely tap out of like.
See, and I disagree because I think the thing that makes you awesome is the thing that makes you suck. And Manny is a great friend, but right now she is going too hard as a great friend. And it's like, it's to her own detriment. It's to Emma's detriment. Like, I'm sorry. I'd like, she is a great friend and that's great. And Emma doesn't deserve it. And she deserves to
Emma
walk
doesn't
away.
deserve it.
And Manny deserves to walk away from Emma. And I think if Manny loved herself more, she would.
I want Manny to love herself more. Of course. I just think that, and I mean that maybe I'm trying, and I don't know if it's rewarding, like laying down for somebody or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's more that she knows the kind of person that she wants to be. And I know that she needs to develop more self-respect for herself, but also in the viewpoint of a teenager, and a young person, I didn't develop self-respect until very recently. Okay?
Right.
So I can't judge her for like letting people who, maybe have done you fucking wrong still in your space and still be a big part of your life. Like I can't fault her for that because I did that for a long time.
I mean, I'm
And
not faulting her for it. I just think that that's why Alex is the bigger shining star for me.
No, I get that why. I get why she is that for you. I think Manny went through a lot this season and she still comes out very
She's still
strong for me.
standing.
Yeah.
I think too for Alex, she came out of everything that happened in season 4, playing a part in the shooting and everything, and now she's like changing who she is. So I see her case too.
Yeah, no, Alex has a
She's-
very strong case.
I'm
and
willing
she
to give them a tie if you are.
I think they need a tie.
no, they can get a tie because like Alex stands up for herself. She literally tells someone that she loves and that she could continue to be, in a relationship with if she wanted to be, if she just conforms to what Paige wants her to conform to, and that would be a perfectly acceptable thing to do at this time in her life, honestly,
She
because you're
stands up
still
for herself.
learning. But she's like, no, I'm gonna do this shit on my timetable. Like that has to happen on my time, not yours, not anybody else's. And that I respect that as an adult, as a kid, whatever. Like that is hard to say to somebody that you love and that you want a relationship with or who have a relationship with. That's very mature. It's very evolved. She totally has a very strong case for shining star as well.
I think it's a dual shining star moment. There's 2 of them,
There's Till.
and they're both lovely and beautiful. And there they are.
Yeah.
So the super bummer, I guess, now, the counterpart.
I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. I think the answer is Peter.
It's Peter.
Peter, yeah. As far
Like-
as characters that aren't just supposed to be menaces to society in general, like Jay. Yeah.
Right. A lot of
Peter's-
people suck this season. Marco sucks. Darcy sucks. Spinner sucks.
Oh,
Like, a
yeah,
lot of
but
people
no.
fucking suck. And Peter is still the worst.
Peter makes me upset that I'm watching the show every time
Right.
I see him in a scene.
And then I know that he sticks around because he's still around when like Holly J is doing stuff. Like
Oh yeah,
he
bitch
sticks
is around.
he sticks
comes
around
back
for
He like
Maya.
fails.
Yeah.
He like fucking doesn't move on. He does not matriculate. Like,
He doesn't
Yeah.
go anywhere else. He's always somehow lurking behind a curtain or something.
He's like
he just
actual
comes out.
Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. It's terrifying.
yes, I think that was
I
clean.
think he's unanimous that he is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
He is Satan.
Well, yeah, I guess we got to ask the ultimate question about this here season, which is, did it go there?
Does it go there?
Yeah.
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 We
Wasn't no
have-
shootings, but it did.
we have an ED with
Mhm.
one character getting another one to like go down that path with them for a while.
Right. A
Friendship
sex
club,
crime.
sex crimes,
Infidelity.
a baby being born that we don't really get to see be born, but we see it.
We have
An
like
overdose.
Mm-hmm.
homophobia.
Jimmy's parents trying to kill him with that ramp.
Oh,
Jimmy's
we saw
parents
a
committing
ramp that-
fucking an OSHA violation.
We saw a
Or whatever
ramp
the
that
fuck.
looked like that the other day driving around. It was after I watched that episode and I pointed it out like, hey, Jimmy's parents hate him. Look at that ramp. We saw one in
Right.
real life and I was like,
They fucking
What
hate differently
is
able
that?
people here. They fucking hate. They just want you to go through.
well, we also had ableism because of Derek, the way that he was treating
Mhm.
Jimmy.
Yes,
So
we had
have that
ableism
too.
because of Derek. We had home wrecking because of Ellie.
Home wrecking, but like with no interest.
With the
She's
zero
like, I'm just
follow
gonna
through.
wreck this home
Actually, it's
because
like
it needs
follow
to be
through.
wrecked.
This home needs to be wrecked. No, no follow up.
You
Have
can
a
thank
nice
me
day.
later.
You can thank me later. This home needed to be wrecked, demolished.
I think this season
teen
really did
pregnancy. It was a lot
drugs.
this season.
Somebody
yeah.
selling drugs.
Right, drug supplying. Yeah. Yep.
There's a
Yep.
lot going on.
It went there.
It did.
Thanks for listening to Your Mom's Pahdcast. We will be back in 2 weeks for our final trivia showdown between Amber and Katie.
This season of Your Mom's Pahdcast was made possible in part by Herbal Essences, the Kevin Smith Home for Wayward Youth and Used Car Salesmen, and support from listeners like you.
Lovely. Thank you so much for
Beautiful.
joining us,
Thank
dear.
you, Tawny.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure, girl.
Yay!
Biggie, oh my God, get out of my way.
Ah.
We would like to take a moment to thank our Patreon subscribers. Tay,
Evie,
Miranda,
and an extra special thank you to our TiddySnake producers, Alyka,
Brandi,
Chelsea,
Corrie.
and Tawny. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you guys. Love you.
If you'd like to further support our show, you can find us on TikTok and Facebook as Your Mom's Pahdcast. We also have a Facebook group of the same name. And you can find us on Instagram at YMPadcast. Your Mom's Pahdcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscriptions and reviews are another great free way to support us. However, if you're interested in supporting us in not free ways, we have a lot of great bonus content on our Patreon, and some great merch at our shop, which can be found at your-moms-padcast-shop.fourthwall.com. And remember, that's Pahdcast. Pahdcast. Thank you.